Good morning, friends. Welcome back to another video. My name is Tawanda, and this is Tawanda's Blessed Life. And today I have a compilation video of my top 10 favorite fall DIYs from 2024. We're going to go ahead and get started. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Okay, so we're moving on to our second DIY for today. I have this sand satin spray paint. It came from Lowe's. It was $1 on clearance some years ago. And then I have this acorn dish that came from the Dollar Tree. And I like the bottom part of it, so I'm not going to do anything to it. So the top part, I went ahead and gave it a coat of that sand spray paint. And then once it was completely dry, I brought it back inside. And then I'm going to start to add some of the antique wax onto it. Originally, I was going to leave it that way, but I kept looking at it and I thought it needs something else. So then I decided I was going to add some of the terracotta paint. So here I'm just adding that onto the lid. And then once then I was like, it still needs something. So then I decided I was going to add some of the Rub and Buff, the gold leaf. So I started to add that onto the lid, and then I just thought it was perfect. So yeah, so that is going to be it for this DIY. I love the way that it turned out. You'll have to let me know what you think about this DIY. I absolutely love it. And I also gave it a clear coat of the matte spray paint. Okay, so for DIY number 3, I have this little leaf like key holder, I'm going to call it. Some more of the sand spray paint. So I went ahead and gave it 2 coats, front and back. And then I decided I was going to also do the antique wax on it also. And then I was going to leave it like that because I actually didn't think it looked that bad. But then I actually liked the way, and on the bottom I have a paper towel there just covering the bottom of it because I didn't want to get the antique wax or paint on it. And so once I did that and it dried, I went ahead and did the same process with adding the terracotta paint to this DIY. So I'm just going to dab it on until I'm happy with my results. And then when I'm happy with everything, I'm going to take that gold Rub and Buff, and I'm actually going to go on the creases where the leaves are, just to give it some definition. And I love the way that this turned out. And originally, I don't know if you saw my haul when I purchased this, I said I didn't want to paint it, but I am happy that I did because it looks so good. And the camera just does not do it justice. It looks so nice in person. And I also gave it a clear coat of the matte clear coat spray paint. So yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think about this DIY. I love it. We appreciate it, and like I always say, be nicer, be kinder. God will love you for it, and I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you on Sunday. Goodbye. Okay, so we're moving on to DIY number 2. I have another one of those Dollar Tree pumpkins. I'm going to paint it with the plaster paint. So this DIY, I was going to do something completely different than what I ended up doing with it. And then I was in my craft room looking for something, and I noticed that I had these owl napkins. So I decided I was going to use this instead of what I was going to do. So I'm going to take one of these napkins, and I think I only use one napkin to do the whole DIY. So I'm just going to decoupage. I'm going to use some of my Mod Podge, and I'm just going to go ahead and start applying my napkin to my pumpkin. And I love the way this turned out. I actually wish I probably would have done a couple more of these. I think I probably will do a couple more with this napkin. So you'll have to let me know what you think about this DIY. So I'm just going to go in sections. So I'm just going to just use some water and my little sponge there, and I'm just going to apply my napkin into onto my pumpkin in small sections. So let's go ahead and just take a moment to talk about today's playlist. Today's playlist is the Craft Your Stash Pumpkins playlist, and it's hosted by Tasha from Sunflower Tasha DIYs and Sun from Sun's Arts. And I will have And if you are new to my channel, my name is Tawanda, and this is Tawanda's Blessed Life. And on my channel, I do decorating on a budget, DIYs, and hauls with a sprinkle of migraine enlightenment. I also do sister log updates and lifestyle updates. So if that is something that you're interested in, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. If you're already subscribed, thank you for continuing to support my channel. I do really appreciate it. And we're going to go ahead and get back into today's video. So here I am. As I'm laying down my napkin, I'm actually trying to line up the napkin where I am tearing it off, just to try and make it look more cohesive. So some of the areas it lined up perfectly, and some of the other areas it did not, but I really do like the way that this turned out. I just really love the colors. I think it just screams fall. And this is what my pumpkin looks like after I did the first coat, and I went back and did a coat over it once it was completely dry. So here I have one of those little wooden stem pieces from Dollar Tree, and then I have these wooden leaves. I don't remember if these came from Hobby Lobby or from Michael's. I have a couple of these in a little container that I keep all my wood pieces. Once I have my leaves glued on, I decided I was going to add some some raffia, excuse me. At first I was going to add a ribbon bow, but I decided that I didn't want to do that. I didn't like the way that it looked. So I decided that I was going to add the raffia. So here I'm just trying to figure out how I want to do it. So I decided I was going to wrap it around my peduncle and then tie a knot. And then at first I tried to curl it, and it didn't work out right. But of course, what I should have done first was I should have wetted first to be able to curl it like I wanted to, but I did not do that. So here I am just kind of twisting it to see if I can get it to curl. And then I decided that I didn't like it, and so I decided I was going to trim the pieces back. And then I decided that I didn't like that either. So a couple of days ago, I ended up just taking the raffia off and then just going with just the leaves. So you'll see that in the reveal. So you'll have to let me know what you think about this DIY. Okay, so we are moving on to our last and final DIY for today. So I have 4 pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. These are pumpkins I've already had in my stash. I have some of the pumpkin paint. I have the burnt umber and some of the terracotta paint, excuse me. And then I also have some baking soda. I also have 2 battery operated candles. So here I'm just taking off that peduncle, and I'm going to try and push a hole through my candles with my candlestick. And then once I have that complete, I'm going to take 2 of my candles, and I'm going to start to I'm going to place one on top of the other, and then I'm going to line them up as close as possible so that they look the same. Excuse me, I can't get my words out today. And then I'm going to use some E6000 and some hot glue and glue them together. And these are just random pumpkins that I grabbed out of my storage unit, so they were not all in the best shape. So I ended up giving them both 4 coats of paint because the pumpkins were basically just drinking the paint. So I mixed a mixture of the baking soda with the pumpkin paint, the burnt umber, and the terracotta paint. I gave them both pumpkins 2 coats of paint. I also went around the middle, in between the middle of it, with some glue to line them up really nice to kind of give it a cleaner look. And then I went ahead and started to paint. So I gave both sets of pumpkins 2 coats of the mixture, and it still was not covering completely. So then I went back and gave it 2 coats of just the pumpkin paint. Now, when I did the pumpkin paint, I did not add the baking soda, which I wish I would have, just so that it would have given it a lot more texture. Because like I said, the pumpkins were not in the best shape, but nonetheless. So once that was complete, I went ahead and set them aside and let them dry. And then I came back, and then I took, I had a sunflower, an orange sunflower that I just took the petals off of, and I took a petal I took 2 of the petals, excuse me, and then I cut the centers out and placed and hot glued those on top of my pumpkins. And then I went back and I put my candles down into my pumpkins. So you'll see me doing that here shortly. So this is what my pumpkins look like after the first 2 coats, and this is what they look like after the second 2 coats. And then I'm just showing you how to use the pumpkin paint. And so now here I am adding those sunflowers, and I am going to cut an X in the center of my sunflower, and I am then going to place my candle in the middle of that X. And so you'll see me doing that here. And then I'm going to hot glue the sunflower to my pumpkin and then insert my candle back into my pumpkins. And that is it for today's video. I would like to thank you for spending part of your Friday with me. If you like what I'm doing, please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And please go ahead and click on the description box and continue to watch the playlist. And like I always say, be nicer, be kinder. God will love you for it. And I hope you have a blessed day. And I will see you on Sunday. Goodbye. So for my first DIY, I have 2 maple stems that came from JOANN's. I also have some garland that came from Party City that I purchased a while ago. I have some moss from Dollar Tree, some zip ties, some floral foam, some packing material, and then I have 2 planter cans that came from Dollar Tree. I've had those for a while also. So the only thing that was purchased for this DIY were the 2 maple stems. I paid $8 for those at JOANN's. They were on sale, plus I got my discount. So I'm going to start off by taking the 2 maple stems and I'm going to place one on top of the other. And so the reason why I'm doing that is so that it looks like there's just one stem put together, because one of the stems is a little bit larger. And so I'm going to zip tie that one on top, so it looks like we only have one stem to create the tree. And then I'm going to start to zip tie. So I'm going to use 3 zip ties and zip tie them both together. And then once I have them how I want them, I'm going to go ahead and tighten my zip ties. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess. And then once I have that done, here I'm just showing you what it looks like. And then I'm going to take my my leaf garland and I'm going to wrap that around my tree, the trunk of my tree. So I'm going to wrap that around, and I'm trying to wrap it around the zip ties to kind of cover those up some. I covered it up to the best of my ability. I'm going to go with sand. I mean, you can barely see it, but I'm thinking that I may go back and use some of the burnt umber on it so that it blends in a little bit more, like I did on the tree, the second tree. So here I am just taking off, cutting off the tags once I have the stems covered with the garland. And then once I have that complete, I'm going to take my little can here from Dollar Tree, and I think a lot of us probably have, a lot of crafters probably have this, these cans. And I'm going to stick my floral foam in the bottom of my can, and I'm going to go ahead and stick my tree into the foam. And then I'm going to take some of that packing material. Now I get this packing material out of one of my migraine from my migraine medicine when they send it to me, because it is and it has to be refrigerated, so it comes with this packing material. So I tend to keep some of it around this time when I'm going to be doing DIYs in fall time. So here I am just trying to decide which one of the floral foams I'm going to use, and trying to decide how I'm going to place that packing material in there to be able to hold my tree up, because I do need it to be steady. So once I have that figured out, here I have my rocks. So sometimes I do take my rocks and put them in a bag and then kind of roll them around just to kind of keep them concealed. So here I'm just adding some more rocks, and I'll just do this until I'm happy with my results, and then I'm going to go back and start to add my moss on top of the rocks just to get those covered and to make my tree look more realistic. So here is what my tree is currently looking like, and I absolutely love it. And I'm going to go ahead and just start to fluff out my stems. I will say that this was really early in the morning when I was doing this, and this tree was actually supposed to go outside here next to my bench that you can see there. I was going to move my easel and put my tree there when so that it'll sit next to my scarecrows. But then I decided that I liked it so much that I was going to run back to Joann's, which I did once I was done making this DIY, to purchase 2 more of the stems, because I decided I was going to flank these around my fireplace. I'm going to have one on one on each side of my fireplace. So I can't wait to actually get my fireplace decorated. So, but yeah, so once I had that complete and I had made that decision, I also decided it needed lights. So here I am just adding lights to my tree, and that is it. I absolutely loved the way that it turned out, and it only cost me $16 compared to $90. So let me know what you think. Okay, so for moving on to DIY number 2, I have 3 of the maple leaves, and they're actually calling these fall florals. I paid about $2.30 for each one, so this DIY is going to cost me around $2.30. I also have some more of the moss from the Dollar Tree, the packing material, some floral foam. I'm going to be using the white planter can from Dollar Tree, and then I also have a trunk. I'm going to call it a trunk, but this branch these came from Target a couple of years ago. They sold these in like a pack of 3, and I think I want to say I paid like 30 cents each for each pack that I purchased, and I think I purchased like 3 or 4 packs. So for this DIY, I'm going to take that branch, or that trunk is what I'm going to call it, because that's going to be my tree trunk, of course. And then I have my 3 stems from Joann's. So I'm going to place those on the back of my trunk. So you can see here I have it placed on the back, and I'm just trying to adjust it so that you will not be able to see the stems from the front. And then once I have everything placed how I like it, and I don't feel like I can see my stems, I'm going to go ahead and insert to tighten my zip ties. So here I'm just trying to just get everything how I want it and get everything placed. And like I said, once I have it like I want it, I'll go ahead and insert to tighten my zip ties. Now you can see the top of my trunk. It is, you can see it. So what I'm going to do is, once I have my trunk how I want it and it's placed into my planter, I'm going to go back, and you can see a couple of the leaves that fall off of the stems. So I'm going to take those and cover the tip of the trunk so that it looks like it's completely covered. So here I'm just kind of showing you what I'm going to do. So I have my can here. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the floral foam. I'm going to go ahead and stick it into my floral foam. I'm going to add my packing material, and then this time when I put it in, I did not put the rocks in the bag, which I'm really not sure why I did that. I just went ahead and just placed them into the can, and then I placed my packing material on top, and I placed some more rocks on top of that. And then I went back and added my moss. So once that was complete, I, like I said, I went ahead and added my moss to cover the rocks. And then I fluffed the top of my tree like I wanted it. And then I also used some hot glue and attached 2 of the leaves to cover the top of my trunk. So here I am. This is what my tree is currently looking like. I'm going to go ahead and just start to fluff everything, and then I'm going to show you the top of my trunk, and where I'm going to, which leaves I'm going to place to cover that up to make it look more natural, and just to make it look better, I'm going to go with sand. So once I have that done, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess of my zip ties. And then I'm going to add my lights to my tree. And then I'm going to go back and add some of the burnt umber paint. And I'm going to paint my zip ties to match the trunk. And that is going to be it for this DIY. I absolutely love the way that it turned out. And this tree is actually going to go in our master bedroom. And I'm thinking I'm going to put it on top of our fireplace in our master bedroom instead of beside it. Just to give it some height. So you'll have to let me know what you think. I can't wait to start I can't wait really to start finishing all of my fall decor in my home. So here I am, just trying to make get everything how I want it. And like I said, I'm going to go back and add the lights, and then paint the zip ties with the burnt umber. And so once I have my lights on, I'm going to go back, like I said, and I'm going to start to use the burnt umber to cover the zip ties. And I think that made a huge difference, because you can barely see the zip ties. It blends in so nice. So here I'm just showing you what it is looking like. And then there's me. Here I am going back and painting everything. And like I said, this DIY only cost me it was less than $7, so $6.90. So that is going to be it for today's DIYs. I would like to thank you for spending part of your Wednesday with me. If you like what I am doing, please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And like I always say, be nicer, be kinder. God will love you for it. And I hope you have a blessed day. And I will see you on Sunday. Goodbye. For our first DIY, I have a wood round. I believe I have a pack of these. I believe I purchased them from Amazon about 3 years ago. I'm going to paint the wood round with the black Waverly chalk paint. I have this wood round wreath, excuse me, from Dollar Tree. I also have some picks. Those came from Michael's, and then I have a picture with the scarecrows on it that came from Temu. I think it was like $1 and some change. And then I have some ribbon, and one ribbon came from Michael's and the other ribbon came from Dollar Tree, I believe. I've had them for a while. So I'm going to start off by using some hot glue and some of the wood glue, and I'm going to attach my wood wreath to my wood round, and then I am going to take my scarecrow round, and I'm going to attach that also with some of the Type Bond wood glue. So originally when I had ordered these scarecrow rounds, I actually thought they were larger than what they were, and as you can see, they're quite small. So I wasn't going to use them, but then I just decided to keep them. So here I am. Once I have everything glued, I'm going to go ahead and use some tape to hold everything in place. And then I'm going to take these picks that came from Michael's. I believe these were 99 cents a piece, and I'm going to hot glue those. I also hot glued a wood stem, and that came from Hobby Lobby. It's like a roll, and I just cut one of the stems off, so I went ahead and hot glued that on because I wanted it to look like a pumpkin actually. And then here I am, just I went ahead and hot glued that to my wood round, and then I hot glued my picks to the wood round, and then I added a piece of tape to make sure to give it some help with holding. And then I created a bow using 2 ribbons, the orange ribbon from Dollar Tree, excuse me, and then the other ribbon is from Michael's, I do believe. I've had it for a couple of years now. And then I went ahead and hot glued it, and that is it for this. Actually, didn't know, but I did also, once I did that and I fluffed my ribbons, I flipped it over to the back, and then I used a piece of the ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I hot glued it to the back to make a door hanger. And that is it for this DIY. I absolutely love the way that this turned out. Let me know what you think about this DIY. So today's video is a part of a playlist, the Everything Fall playlist, and it's hosted by Katie from Lady Red Crafting and Lisa from Our Gray House, and the guest host is Melissa from I'm Merrily Melissa. And the links to the host and guest host channels will be in my description box, along with a link to the playlist. If you could go ahead and click on it to continue to watch all the lovely crafters videos, I would greatly. Right along to DIY number 2, I have another wood round. I have this corn husk that came from Hobby Lobby. I think I can't remember how much I paid for it. It was like 90% off. And then I have another one of those signs with a scarecrow on it. As you can see, I have a theme. So I'm going to take that corn husk. First, I traced around my scarecrow picture, is what I'm going to call it. And then I went back and started to hot glue my corn husk around, just barely hanging just over a little bit of the circle that I traced. And I'm just going to go ahead and add that. I'm going to go ahead and add the corn husk around the whole circle, wood round, and I'm going to go back and to make it, because I thought it looked a little bit too thin, so I went back and I added another layer of the corn husk. And then once that was complete, I went back and added some Type Bond wood glue to the corn husk and on the wood round, and I added a little bit of hot glue, and then I placed my scarecrow onto that, onto the top of the corn husk. So here I am, I have this crow, and I was trying to take it off, but I could not get it off, so I ended up just using the word harvest from the scarecrow, and that pick came from Hobby Lobby, I do believe. So I went ahead and hot glued that onto my sign here, and then I took some more pieces of that corn husk, and then I just started to apply it to because there was a little hole up there, so I wanted to cover that up so the only way that I could figure out how to do that was to add some of that corn husk. So I just cut it into little strips, and where it had already had little pieces of corn husk already on the picture, I just covered those areas up. And then once I was done with that, I went back and took a piece of that orange ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I just cut a small piece of it and folded it. And then I hot glued that on like the rim of the top of the hat, where like the crow meets and where the corn husk ends. So you'll see me doing that here shortly. And then once that was complete, I turned it over to the back, and I added a hanger to the back, and that is going to be it for this DIY. I absolutely love the way that this turned out. I actually love the way that all of these turned out, so you'll have to let me know which one is your favorite. I am having a hard time choosing, so yeah, let me know what you think. And I would just like to thank everyone for watching my video today. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're already subscribed, thank you for continuing to support my channel. I do really appreciate it. And on my channel, I do decorating on a budget, DIYs and hauls with a sprinkle of migraine enlightenment. I also do lifestyle updates to include my migraine updates, and I also do social blog updates. So if that is something that you're interested in, please hit the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you are not new to my channel and you have been with me on this ride since I have started my YouTube channel, then you know there are two things that I love to decorate with. One is snowmen and the other is scarecrows. So I typically decorate the outside and my coffee bar with scarecrows, and then for fall, and then when Christmas rolls around, I decorate with snowmen. So yeah, I love them both. And what are some of the things that you love to decorate with for fall? Okay, so for this one, I'm going to use the iron because it said that I can use the iron to apply this. I'm just trying to figure out which one is going to be the best. So I'm going to go ahead and start ironing this, and then I'll go ahead and pull the plastic off of the first one. But I just want to see if this is going to work. And then that way I'll have options. Okay, so I'm going to just say that I prefer to use the iron to do this process. And also, this is what happens. This next clip, it'll be what happens when you do not have proper directions. So this is the first shirt. So we're going to go ahead and try and peel this off. It should be, it should have cooled down by now. And you can't get it off. It's not coming off. So I'm gonna say this is not gonna work. Okay, so here I am just trying to get it off, and I was trying for a long time and I could not remove it. And actually when I was pulling off the top layer, the transfer was actually coming up also, if you can see that in the corner there. So I decided I was just going to go ahead and add some more heat, and that actually did help. I will say that I did 4 other t-shirts, and I actually let the heat sit longer, and I did it 3 times per shirt, and I still ended up having to use the iron to help pull it off, and I did it for longer seconds. So yeah, so if this is a product that you end up purchasing, I just wanted to put that out there. The shirts are beautiful. It's just it needs to come with, I think, a better directions. So yeah. All right, so I'm just adding heat to it just to help it come off. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do, but that's like the only way that I'm probably going to get this off of here without ruining the shirt. All right, so there is that one. Oh my goodness. All right, so this one's done. It actually looks pretty good. So I would say that if you use these transfers, you'll probably have to add some heat to be able to get the top layer off. But it is really cute. So let's try the second one. My husband's in the kitchen warming up his dinner. So if you hear the oven going off, he prefers to use the oven over the microwave. So we're going to try and get this one off. And this is the one that I use the iron. So I'm going to see if it's going to do the same thing. And it looks like it is. So we're going to add heat to it and then try and peel it off. And it looks like this is how this is going to work. Maybe. Okay, so sweet friends, if you have any ideas on how this would work or how it could be an easier process for me, please put it in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. I do plan on creating some t-shirts with my nieces and nephews for Christmas. They're not going to be the same brand or from the same person. The transfers won't be, but still, you never know. I would appreciate any tips or tricks if this is something that you all do. This is actually my first time ever doing this, but I thought it would be a cute idea. So some areas it's peeling off okay, but then other areas I need to add more heat to it to get it off. So I would say that these are definitely not the easiest transfers to use. So I would just like to thank you all for spending part of your day with me today and watching my last fall video of the year. And if you like what I am doing, please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And like I always say, be nicer, be kinder. God bless. Okay, so that's that one. It looks pretty good. Like I said, these are not the easiest transfers to use, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do the rest of them, and then I'll just show you all when I'm finished. And we're moving on to our second and third DIY. I'm going to do these simultaneously. Excuse me, I can't get my words out. I have a migraine brain, excuse me. So I have this wood board here that came from Hobby Lobby. I have like 6 or 7 of these that I purchased from Hobby Lobby some years ago on clearance. So I went ahead and just picked up all that he had. And then I had my husband cut the board in half. One board is longer than the other. I'm really not sure of the measurements. And then I have this white acrylic crafter's paint from Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to use a damp napkin, and I'm going to just whitewash it over both of the boards. So you see me here doing that, and once both of my boards are completely dry, I'm going to take my stickers that I purchased from Amazon, and I'll go ahead and link those in the description box if you're interested in them. You'll only see me, I'm going to attach them with Mod Podge, but you'll only see me do one of them because I didn't feel like I needed to show you all me doing both. But same process. I'm just going to place them how I want them. So I'm just trying to figure out where I want it, and then I'm also going to add a couple of the pumpkins off of the other stencil pages. So I think it's a total of like 8 pages, and they're labeled like A1, A2, A3, or D1, just so that you'll know which ones go together. So this is the first one here, and I'm just trying to get proper placement and how I want to put everything. And then I am going to use some of the Mod Podge to attach it to my board. Now, what I should have done was just put the Mod Podge all over the whole board, because I ended up going over it with 2 top coats of Mod Podge anyway, but I did not. Here I am. I'm going to add a sunflower. So I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put the sunflowers. So here I am adding the Mod Podge, and while you're watching me do that, so let's go ahead and discuss today's playlist. So today's playlist is the Hello Pumpkin playlist, and it's hosted by Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY and Krista from Krista's Crafty Life. I will have the links to both of the host channels in my description box, along with the link to the playlist. If you could go ahead and click on it once you finish watching today's video, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. And if you're already subscribed, thank you for continuing to support my channel. I do really appreciate you watching all of my videos that I put out. And I hope you all are enjoying your Labor Day weekend with your family and friends. And I ask that you all please be safe. And we're going to go ahead and get back into today's video. In case you all are wondering why I am doing so many of the scarecrow DIYs, it's because I actually decorate with scarecrows outside of my home, and I also decorate my dining room and coffee bar area with scarecrows. And I kind of like to make different DIYs that are unique for my home for fall, and you really can't find there aren't a lot of scarecrow decor that is, because most of the stores basically all have like the same thing. So I kind of just like to make a lot of my own stuff, just so that I can have I can pretty much have what it is that I'm envisioning my home to look like. Although I do have quite a lot of scarecrow decor that I purchased from the stores that I will be using to decorate with. So I cannot wait, and I'm just trying to get as many things done for outside of my home so that I can go ahead and start decorating. I'm hoping to start doing that next weekend. Hopefully I will feel better. I was hoping to do it this weekend, but I am just not, I'm just not in the mood. My migraine just has me down today. But anywho, here I am just showing you what the finished product and what it looks like after I did the Mod Podge on the scarecrow. I'm also going to go ahead and start to add the pumpkin with the crow on it to give it, I wanted to kind of fill up the bottom of the page. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this pumpkin, and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking maybe I could have added another one, But nonetheless, I still like the way that these all turned out. So I really can't wait for you all to see the finished product. Now, I was thinking that this is what it looks like after I put the Mod Podge on both of my boards. I love them. I think they look so good. Here I am going to, so I have my, showing you the products that I will be using now. So I'm going to go over my, the boards with 2 coats of Mod Podge. I'm also going to be using a spindle that was cut in half. And then I have some of the blue maple leaves from Dollar Tree. And then I also have 2 of the sunflowers. And I believe these came from Michael's, I believe. I got like I've had them for some years now, but I've just kind of been plucking off the flowers and to use them on DIYs. So what I did was I cut the back of it off so that I could staple the flowers and the leaves onto the board. And so here I am adding my leaves and my sunflowers, and then you'll see me here shortly cutting off the bottom of that leaf. I'm sorry for that flashing. I didn't realize that my camera is a little bit wonky when I have the ceiling fan on. So here I'm just showing you that I'm going to cut that back piece off, and because I want it to lay flat on the board, I'm going to have to, that's one of the reasons why I am stapling the flowers onto the board, and also too because in Florida some mornings it's in the 20s and 30s, and then by noon it's 80s and 90s. And I just want to make sure that everything stays together, because these will be outside of my home for the next couple of months, I believe. So this is what this one looks like, and it looks so good. And so I'm just showing you the spindle and how I'm going to place it, and then I'm going to go ahead and move on to my second pumpkin. And I'm going to, for this one, I have the scarecrow that came from Hobby Lobby. It was a pick, and it had like a little wording sign on it that said harvest, that I used on one of my scarecrow DIYs last week. So I'm going to start off by adding 2 of the tumbling tire blocks to my scarecrow with some wood glue and some hot glue. And here I'm just trying to figure out proper placement, because I kind of want the little legs of the scarecrow on the picture to show. And so I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to get that so that you can still see his little legs. And then I'm going to go back and add the Type-on glue and the hot glue and place him on top of my hat. And then that's going to be it for that part of the DIY. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to add my peduncles, which will be my spindles. So it's one spindle that was cut in half, and I did have it cut where one spindle was a little bit longer, just because one of my boards is longer than the other one. And so I'm going to attach those by using some hot glue and some of the Type-on glue. I'm also going to go back and put 2 staples in the back of my stems. And so what I was thinking was, I'm thinking that I may go back and curve the edges like I did in the first DIY. So y'all let me know what you think about that idea. I mean, I feel like it will look really cute. So here I'm going to just show you all that I have 2 of the yard sale signs, just the sticks, and I'm going to go ahead and apply some of the antique wax to those. So while those are drying, I am going to use this ribbon. So this ribbon here that I have in my hand is from the Dollar Tree. I'm not sure what it's called. The orange ribbon is from Dollar Tree. The cream and white ribbon is from Dollar Tree, and then the gingham is from Joann's, I believe. And then the bow or string, I'm not really sure what that's called, or twine, is from, I believe, Hobby Lobby. I've had that for I think 2 years now. And so I'm going to go ahead and dovetail my ends, and then I put 2 pieces of that twine with the ribbon. The one piece that I put in the back, I tied it around, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tie that around my stem. And then the other one I gave like some little curly cues. So here I am just doing that and fluffing out my ribbon, and then I'm going to go back and attach my yard signs so that I'll be able to place these in my planters. I'm going to attach them using some wood glue and some of the hot glue, and then I'm going to go back and use my nail gun just to make sure that they stay in place. And then that is going to be it for today's video. I would like to thank you all for spending part of your Sunday with me, and please go ahead and click on the playlist and watch all of the lovely crafters videos. And if you like what I am doing, please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And like I always say, be nicer, be kinder. God will love you forward, and I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you next Sunday. Goodbye. Oh, look at how cute those are. I love them.